Hi there. Having a bit of a late start on supper because I just finished the last episode of the 4th season of Stranger Things, so I'm a bit emotional right now. Yes, I've only just watched this show recently. I had no idea what it was. No interest in watching it, and then I got hooked on it. So, oh my god, right? Oh my god. Anyway, I'm gonna make a meatloaf. It's a Cracker Barrel recipe. I've never been to Cracker Barrel, but this is from Pinterest. Made it a few times. My son loves the sauce on it, aka brown sugar, ketchup, and a little bit of mustard, etc. I'm using 3 pounds of ground beef. I usually use 1 pound per person in my home because I have 2 18-year-old boys and a husband that eats for 2. So it's usually whatever I make is 1 pound of ground beef each. The recipe calls for beef, onions, and peppers. I don't use any of that stuff. I don't use vegetables or anything like that, so I leave that out to compensate with spices, eggs, cheese, milk, crackers for kind of like the bread or whatever. I feel like I probably crushed up some saltines before, or panko breadcrumbs I'll probably use instead because I have a fresh box of those, and salt and pepper. And then the sauce that goes on the top, it's ketchup, brown sugar, mustard, some Worcestershire. You cook it at 350 for an hour in total. I'm going to put it at around 400 because my stove does not apply to regular recipe timing. You cook it for 30 minutes and then you put the sauce on the top and then you cook it for the remaining 30 minutes. We always eat late anyway, but today might be a little bit later. Whatever, it's Saturday. Okay, you can't see it all, but there's 3 pounds of ground beef. The original recipe calls for 1.5 pounds, so doubled is 3. So original recipe says 3 eggs, so I put in 6, which feels like a lot, but whatever. I use panko breadcrumbs. I added some garlic and some basil because I don't put in any vegetables. I have a seasoned, like a herbed salt as well, and regular salt. We've got our cheese, we got some pepper. The milk is in there. So I'm gonna mix it up and put it in a baking dish, a 9 by 13. Here's our meat log, bare, oven set to 400 as I said. And I'm gonna set it for 30 minutes to start off with. Okay, so because the recipe is doubled, there is 1 cup of ketchup, 1 cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire in there, you can see, and that's it. Ketchup, brown sugar, mustard, Worcestershire, and we mix it up so it's ready to go in a half an hour to put on the meatloaf. First 30 minutes down at 400. Now we sauce it up so it can caramelize and be all gooey and delicious. Now back into the oven for its second 30. And just some random advice while we wait. Make sure you read recipes carefully before you do them, like in advance. You know, when you go through a recipe to see what you need for ingredients and stuff like that, read the lower down part, read the details. And I only say that because I've been tricked a number of times. Not tricked, just careless on my behalf of not reading things where it says do the prep and then you miss the line where it says put in the fridge for 24 hours and you're like, oh, missed that part. Or you think that you see something is just 30 minutes, quickly skim through it, 30 minutes, no problem, and then you see that's the first part of cooking and there's 2 parts, like this one for example, it's 30 and then an additional 30. So just read. Let's check out this beauty. Ooh, look at that, bubbling hot to scald your face. Just about done. Here is the hot lava meatloaf. May not look appealing. I mean, I don't know if there's a meatloaf out there that has ever looked appealing, but they always taste good. Of course, there's something that kids don't like. Something I wouldn't have liked when I was young. My mom never made meatloaf when I was young. Didn't even really know what it was. But once we take the lava temperature out of this, it's It's gonna be fantastic. I'm gonna slice it up. I'm gonna give the boys a little bit of toast with garlic butter on it. Standard boy stuff. And you know, what do you have with it? Ketchup, hot sauce, homemade relish.